Alright, here we are at the end of September. The total loss count was worse than I think I've ever seen at the beginning of a game of La Grande Guerre. That's reflected in the national wills. Austria still is in the plus zones, but everyone else has fallen below. The French fell so far as to be down at level 17, which is in the instability zone, caused the government to fall. They paid no penalty for this in particular. Their parliament stayed the same. There's further disadvantages if they manage that again. Let's look at the fronts. First, the interesting little situation in Austria. The Austrian army held, but it's obviously in a risky position. They're trying to hold Przemysl, keeping it out of the Russian hands. That prevented that's the thing. Absolutely no one got a great victory, which are defined depending on the orders of battle chosen. Over on the Tannenberg section, the Russians were free to do less violent things to themselves than they normally would. The Russian Second Army under Samsonov is sitting besieging a fortress, and Hindenburg has moved to the 8th Army but hasn't really been able to do much as of yet. I think he gets promoted to Army Command very shortly, which is a bad thing overall. The Serbs kicked some serious butt, charging. They're almost at Vienna at this point. While that sounds horrible, it did free up the Italian garrison forces, which are now threatening the Serbian position. I think the chance of Vienna falling is very low. The Austrians kind of enticed them forward. Okay. But that does make things very weak on the Italian front, and you'll see with Italy almost in the war on the Entente side, that may not have been such a wise move, but the way things are going, some risks had to be taken. Because, let's take a look at the West Front, and we'll see exactly what the cost of some of those risks is. The Crown Prince, commanding the 5th Army, got himself cut off, taking one of those risks. Over on the Swiss front, the reinforcements that the Swiss received made them not particularly tasty-looking target any longer. So the Germans more or less tried to hold position there and push against the French. That didn't work very well at all. In the center, in reaction to try to free the Crown Prince's army, the Germans ended up opening up a hole that the French 4th Army, I believe, is that the 4th? No, that's part of the 3rd, managed to exploit, and they're now sieging Metz. Overall, I'd say this looks like a really horrible situation for the Central Powers. I have some numbers on the losses. I just wanted to announce these because I've never seen numbers like these in this game. The Russians took a total of 100 casualties. The Germans 86, France 93, and Austria 77. The Austrian total is about what I normally am used to, I guess, but it's and usually that's enough to cripple everyone right in the first turn, where they really can't do anything come the next 2 months before the winter interphase, and they get a lot more troops. Reserves, I mean, I don't know if we can see this in the light, but this is the lost unit pile. It doesn't look very big, but along with the fact that just about everything has been weakened to the reduced side, nobody's really got the firepower or the strength to fight this war right now. We'll see what happens because of it, but I think we may actually see an early end, either in the November, December, or within that first year. I could easily see the Central Powers losing enough ground. We'll see what happens. I've never been in this situation, so it's a little unfamiliar for me. All right.